Hello and welcome to this top 10 tips. Today I am going to talk to you about some of the top 10 tips. We'll start with emotional intelligence. So often people ask me, how do we control our emotions? It's easier said than done. Agree. Today I am going to tell you a few tips which are going to be most practical and yet most effective. Tip number 1. Okay, I always use a framework called PAA or PAA. Okay, pause, accept, and most importantly, acknowledge. Often in our day-to-day routine, we forget to pause and look at our own reactions, which are often driven by emotions. So pause for a moment, gather the thought, gather all your emotions, accept. That is most important. Acceptance of the emotion is the first step towards emotional intelligence. Accept that it is anger. Accept that it is humiliation. Accept that it is dissatisfaction or disappointment, which is leading to that particular reaction. Third, acknowledge. Acknowledge that particular reaction. Say that this reaction was unwarranted, but that happened due to an emotional outburst. So these 3 tips, PAA, pause, accept and acknowledge. Now the next one that I'm going to tell you is also very important. Start with an exercise called 4-column exercise. Okay, take a piece of paper or a diary, make 4 columns into it. Column 1, the incident. In this column, you can write any incident, no matter how big or small it is. Just recollect all the incidents of past 2 weeks. This can be as small as I forgot to iron my shirt and the fallouts and after effects of that, or it can be as complex as in the meeting we discussed strategy, but some of my suggestions were not incorporated. Okay, so first write down all the incidents those have happened. The second column we say is of reaction. In that moment, just go back to that moment, think about what was your reaction at that point of time. This is really important. For example, somebody has bumped into my car. My immediate reaction was I heard a few abusive words. Okay, then the third column is called emotions. Think about all the emotions those were present in you that led to that particular reaction. Was it anger? Was it disbelief? Was it shock? The better the emotional intelligence is, the more you write the number of emotions. So identify how many emotions were playing on your mind right at that point of time. Identify, write and go detailed. After that, the 4th column is the result. So the incident can be A, somebody bumped into my car. Okay, my reaction was I started hurling abusive words and getting reactive. Okay, at that point of time, what was running on my mind was anxiety. How much am I going to pay for it? For repainting the car? Or I lost my control because how could it happen to me? I forgot to acknowledge it. Okay, I was outraged. I was frustrated because there was no response from the other person. All right, that led to further what it resulted into, another verbal fight. I hurled a few abuses, he hurled a few abuses, and then it started with an argument, entered into road rage. Finally, I lost my total control and my day was really bad. Now the question is that result really desired? The answer is no. The more you would write such incident, you would start becoming mindful. Becoming mindful of your own self is one of the most important steps in emotional intelligence. Continue this at least for 3 to 5 weeks, where you're writing it on daily basis. All the incidents, no matter whether they are professional, personal, health, finance, whatever they're related to, just write it down. Okay? Second, your reaction at that moment. Third, and most importantly, number of emotions which led to that reaction. And emotions often come in blends. So identify what emotion led to what. And fourth is your overall result. Okay? So that's my second tip. The fourth tip. The fifth tip that I would like to tell you, and one of the most important aspects, is be empathetic. Just think why a person is behaving the way he or she is. The moment you will start answering this why, you will start becoming empathetic towards the person. This is what we call it as putting yourself in the other person's shoes, feeling and thinking the way he or she is at that moment. Sixth and most importantly, look at what impact it is going to create on your relationship. Think about the impact on your relationship. Put your relationships first, then the transaction that you are involved in. Okay? Seventh, just be present in the moment. That is called an exercise of mindfulness. Okay? Be present in that moment and try and acknowledge all the emotions those run in you. Eighth, another important factor is manage your stress. Identify the stressors which are leading to this particular situation and try and address them. Ninth, another important factor is be assertive. We always say it without using an adjective and say it the way it is. Instead of saying it is really bad and it's pathetic, etc., the simple thing could be said as, I don't think it's going right. In simple, plain words without getting emotions into it. And 10th, most importantly, remember it is all situational. It's neither permanent nor are we going to really impact it big time by making it permanent. Remember these 10 tips. I'm sure you have taken the first step towards emotional intelligence. Wish you all the best. Thank you.